want to welcome you to Duran Productions, my YouTube channel, and I want to thank you for taking your time to watch my video. I just ask that if you could watch this video in its entirety, this will teach you a lot. Anyway, I know that we hear it a lot all over the world, and it's a popular claim or declaration that is actually made by Muslims and those who actually support Muslims, aka the left. The claim is this, is that they say that the radical Muslims, the terrorists, they are a small minority, okay, when it comes to radical Islam. And they say it as if it's fact. It's a myth. It's not true. We are going to examine the evidence. See, here's the thing. They deny the allegations, but they do not address the evidence. We are going to address the evidence of why that is a myth and is not true at all. Also, radical beliefs aren't just confined to those who commit atrocities in the name of Allah. Radical beliefs are more broader than that. Radical beliefs is Islam. Islam is nothing but radical beliefs. Anyway, we're going to examine the evidence. As I state, and I make very clear in majority of my videos, is that I hate opinions. I love facts. So, let's look at Sharia law. Unlike many religions, Islam includes a mandatory and highly specific legal and political plan for society called Sharia, which translates approximately the way or path. The precepts of Sharia are derived from the commandments of the Quran and the Sunnah, let's just say like it's the life of Muhammad, the Hadiths, and the Sirah. Together, the Quran and the Sunnah establishes the dictates of Sharia, which is the blueprint for the good Islamic society. Now, I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on the following sentences that I'm going to read coming up. Please pay close attention to what I am going to say next. Because Sharia law originates from the Quran and the Sunnah, it is not optional. It is not optional. Sharia is a legal code ordained by Allah for all mankind. To violate Sharia or not to accept this authority is to commit rebellion against Allah, which Allah's faithful Muslims, okay, are required to combat. Emphasis. Allah's faithful are required to combat. There is no separation between the religious and the political in Islam. Rather, Islam and Sharia constitute a comprehensive means of ordering society at every level. While it is, in theory, possible for an Islamic society to have different outward forms, an elective system of government, okay, a hereditary monarchy, etc., whatever the outward structure of the government, Sharia is the prescribed content. It is that fact that puts Sharia into conflict with forms of government based on anything other than the Quran and the Sunnah. Now, we're going to look into more of what is Sharia law exactly. Now, the precepts of Sharia law may be divided into two parts. One, the acts of worship, right, which include the ritual, purification, prayers. They had the fast, the charity, the pilgrimage to, or the Hajj to Mecca, human interaction, the financial transactions, the endowments, the laws of inheritance, marriage, food, the penal punishments, war and peace, judicial matters. Anyway, this is Sharia law. This is not it's not compatible with the West at all. Now, as one may see, there are a few aspects of life that Sharia law does not specifically govern. Everything from washing one's hands to child rearing to taxation to military policy fall under its dictates. Because Sharia is derived of the Quran and Sunnah, okay, it affords some room for interpretation. But upon examination of the Islamic sources, it is apparent that a meaningful application of Sharia is going to look very different from anything resembling a free and open society in the Western sense. The stoning of adulterers, execution of apostates and blasphemers, repression of other religions, and a mandatory hostility toward non-Islamic nations, punctuated by regular warfare, will be the norm. It seems it seems fair then to classify Islam and its Sharia code as a form of totalitarianism. Wow. Wow, this is what Sharia law is. You cannot criticize Muhammad or you will be put to death or you will be jailed. Okay? That's just one example of Sharia law. You know, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I can go more into Sharia law, but let's save that for another time. You all look amazing, by the way. Anyway, that's a joke. Okay, I can be extremely sarcastic and facetious sometimes, so I do apologize about that. It's just one of my character defects that I think is really fortunate. But anyway, just to pick up off the Sharia law, and as I said before, that when you're dealing with radical Islam, they say it's a minority phenomenon within Islam. And I have showed you guys already, you know, just taking a little glimpse of what Sharia law is on the surface, okay? On the surface, it's so much with Sharia law that it's just too much to cover. And I want this video to be just fairly lengthy enough not to annoy my viewers. Anyway, here's something else, okay, I just wanted to close this video with, okay, that I want to expound on. And I hope this hits home. It's a myth when they say that it's only a minority who are radicalized. Anything that threatens your judicial system, and also with Sharia law, it says that it has to be forced. It's forced upon you. Okay, when the Sharia law is implemented, it's forced upon you. Whatever is the law of your land is irrelevant. Sharia law replaces it. That is radical. If that's not considered radical to you, it's radical to me. Because it creates second-class citizens. When Sharia law is implemented, a non-Muslim is treated as a second-class citizen. You do not have rights as Muslims. Okay? You just don't. Anyway, let's take a deeper dive into why it's a myth when they say it's a minority who are radical. Indonesia has 205 million Muslims there. 50% support Sharia law. That is 143 million people who are radicalized. Egypt has 80 million Muslims. 65% support Sharia law. That's 55.24 million. Pakistan has 179. 76 support Sharia law. That's 135.4 million. Bangladesh has 149 million Muslims. 82% support Sharia. 2/3 support honor killings of women. Okay? So that's 121.9 million. Nigeria has 75.7 million. 71% support Sharia. That's 53.7 million people. Iran has 74.8 million Muslims. 83% support Sharia. That is million people. Turkey has 74.7 million Muslims. 32% support honor killings. So that's another 23.9 million. Morocco has 32.4 million Muslims. 75% support Sharia. That's another alarming 24 million point 6. Iraq, there's 31.1 million Muslims. 78% support Sharia. That's another 24.3 million. Afghanistan has 24 million Muslims. 99% support Sharia. That's another 24 million. Jordan has 6.4 million Muslims. 60% support Sharia. That's another 3.8 million. The Palestinians and the Palestinian so-called areas, okay, is 4.3 million. 89% support Sharia. That's another 3.83 million. Now, not to predominantly more Muslim countries, let's go to France. France has 4.7 million. 35% support Sharia. That's another 1.6 million people. Great Britain, they have around 2.8 million Muslims. 78% support Sharia. That's another 2.2 million people. The United States, the great United States, has 2.6 million Muslims. 19% support Sharia. That's another 500,000 radicalized Muslims. The total of all the countries that I mentioned, and not all the Muslim countries, okay, are on this list, okay? But from just so far, from all the Muslim numbers that I have calculated, that is 600 million radicalized Muslims out of 942 million. That's a majority, not a tiny minority. Let's slap that myth in the face, okay? And we're gonna prove that is a myth. I mean, we already have proved that is a myth. People need to stop saying it, that it's only a tiny portion of Muslims who are radicalized. No, it's a majority, because there are still hundreds and millions of Muslims in other Muslim countries all around the world who have not been surveyed. If you support Sharia, that is radicalization. Period. But here's the thing that's really tripped out about this: the people of the West who are liberalized, they will deny everything that I have just said and that I have stated. They would deny it, and they would try to refute facts. The ugly truth about this, and it grieves my heart so much, is that because of this myth and this Islamic propaganda that they are spreading around the entire world, people are dying because of these myths. Look at Europe. Muslims are outbreeding the Europeans 8-1. A lot of the countries over in Europe are going to be Muslim. In 17 years, all the way to 35 to 50 years, it's going to be a Muslim country. With this savage, barbaric, inimical ideology that sanctions rape, slavery, pedophilia, murder, intolerance, subjugation, systematic oppression, honor killings of their wives or daughters, cutting people's hands off, locking people up because they don't agree with your religion or they said something about Muhammad, or they said something about Islam, it's spreading like wildfire, and the left has nothing to be concerned about. That is what really kills me. Also, a religion that says that you have the right to lie. Their Allah is referred to as one of his 99 names is the Great Deceiver. Muslims believe that Muhammad is the moral absolute, which the moral standard is derived from. Wow. You are in Piss Creek if that's your example or standard of morality. This is the religion that's spreading like wildfire, that people are speaking against, and they are receiving death threats. I myself have received death threats. People have been killed because they want to stop the Islamification of the West. This is why the Christian Crusades happened. But here's the thing, people are too liberalized. They don't know the truth. They want to buy into the propaganda, and they want to go off their emotions. Logic has nothing to do with it, I guess. So we're just going to go off the emotional mind. Well, what happened to logic? Because when you use both of them, you end up with a wise mind. Become wise-minded. Please, use common sense. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me stop. That's so cliche. I don't want to even say common sense anymore. What is going on in the world today? I'm really concerned about Europe. In Europe, this is not to throw shade on you or to disrespect you at all. But Europe, you rejected Jesus Christ. Per capita, Europeans are godless. Per capita. And you make fun of Americans for being Christian. When you reject the cornerstone, this is what happens. A counterfeit religion will come in and they will subjugate you. If you read the Old Testament, it happened a lot, and it happened for centuries and centuries because the people were rebellious and they rebelled against God, and this is what happens. But here, and I'm not going to say that the United States is spotless, but anyway, even here in the United States, we have the rise of Satanism. Christians, it's time that we do our job. I know that by making this video or even having my YouTube channel that I'm putting my life in threat. That I'm putting my life in jeopardy. I know that. But should it be that way? No. But it is. It's just an ugly truth. But it's not going to intimidate me or stop me from spreading the truth. I'm willing to die for what I believe in. That's a huge difference for saying I'm willing to kill for what I believe in. No, I would never, ever entice or incite violence and hatred against any of my opponents that I have addressed in any of my videos. So that is Mormons, those are Black Israelites, Catholic Church, Jehovah's Witnesses, Islam, etc. Okay? And I have videos against all these different sects. So if you want to say that, oh, he targets Islam, no, that's not true. But yes, most of my videos are against Islam because Islam is growing so fast. And a lot of it has to do with just brainwashing and compulsion of religion. Which Islam has not changed. It's been the same for 1400 years. Anyway, you guys, I hope you like this video. I put some work into it, and I know I said previously that I was not going to do that. But I noticed it's not for me. It's to make it more viewable for my audience. So this is why I put a lot more of the editing work and all that kind of stuff into this video. I hope you like it. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you up front. I want views. That's what I want. I just want views, and for people to watch the videos in its entirety. But I know that dealing with social issues isn't too popular, you know, because these are things that people want to stray away from, and I believe this is why society has declined so much as far as when it comes to critical thinking. Wow, you know, we are becoming idiots in an alarming pace because we do not talk about things that truly matter. People can have millions of subscribers and billions of views on prank channels, or for entertainment or things like that, but things that archetypes of life, topics that change and influence your life. These are not the popular topics because I guess it just remain. I guess because it involves a lot of critical thinking. Well, I'm a mentally conscious person. The world should be more mentally conscious because if the world was more mentally conscious, we would not have to deal with Islam today. But now we are actually starting to reap our harvest. I mean, it's sad. We are starting to reap what we have sowed. This is our harvest. Islam is our harvest. It's right at our front doors. I know I'm smiling in this video. Don't take it the wrong way because it's more of a nervous smirk. And it's also, I'm trying to keep my composure because this topic makes me so emotional. I get so pissed off when I think about how many Christians have been slaughtered since 9/11 and almost 30,000 terrorist attacks since 9/11. And you have people that have bleeding hearts for an ideology that says we will rape you, we will kill you, we will subjugate your children, we will make you our slaves, and we will force you to convert to Islam. And if you don't convert to Islam, you will have to pay a jizya tax. You have to pay your jizya tax. You know, this is nuts. And you have people who don't know anything about Islam, but they're so quick to open up their freaking mouths and say, you can't demonize a religion. That religion demonizes us. Anyway, let me just stop. You guys have a great day. Subscribe, share, comment, like, do everything, you guys. Join in the fight. I know I'm not the only one that's brave enough to stand up, and I know I'm not the only one who sees what's actually going on in the world today. You guys, we have to fight now. The time is now. Enough is enough. Anyway, I love you all, my brothers and sisters of the West, and my brothers and sisters all over the world who are anti-Islam. I love you all. We might not have the same belief systems, but you know what? Here in the United States, it's a melting pot. We have people from all different walks of life, and we get along. Yes, we have our differences of ideology, but we don't kill each other. Anyway, from a Christian to the non-Christians, I still love you guys. But from a Christian to the rest of my other Christian brothers and sisters out there, may God be with you. May God be with you. God be with you. Guard your heart. You know what that means. Guard your heart. Anyway, till next time. Stay safe. Deuces. Yeah.